Have you ever felt out of place, right in your own family? Ever wondered why the very people who are supposed to love you are the ones who hurt you the most? This isn't a dramatic story. It's a soft cut, gentle but deep enough to touch what we often try to hide. Blood ties don't always mean real love. This is the story of Aunt Linda, a story that proves family isn't always where you're born. Sometimes it's where you finally find healing. And if you've ever questioned the love in your own home, maybe, just maybe, you need to stay and hear this story. I grew up in what looked like the perfect family. Both my parents had respectable jobs, we lived in a large house, meals were always on the table. But strangely, I never felt warmth. Everything ran like a machine, on time, on schedule, but without a heart. Then one day, my mom got a call. Her younger sister, Aunt Linda, had been diagnosed with late-stage cancer. She never married. No kids. She'd lived alone for years. Now she needed a place to spend her final months. My mom acted compassionate. My dad nodded in agreement. They decided to let Aunt Linda move in. And suddenly, everything in the house changed. My mom started smiling more than usual. My dad kept bringing up wills, assets, and the unused apartment Aunt Linda owned in the city. Back then, I was too young to understand. But I saw one thing clearly. My parents only smiled when they talked about money. At first, Aunt Linda was treated very well. Her favorite dishes were served, her room was cleaned and redecorated. But soon, things changed, especially when she refused to talk about her finances. My mom became cold. "She's an adult. She can take care of herself," she said. My dad made excuses to avoid her altogether. Aunt Linda slowly became invisible in her own home. No one noticed when she coughed. No one cared if she missed her medication. I'd often find her sitting alone on the balcony, staring into the sky. Once I asked, "Does it hurt, Auntie?" She just smiled. Pain in the body can be healed, but pain in the heart, that's different. I started spending more time with her. We played chess, drank tea, read books together, and in her eyes, I saw a softness I never found in my mother. In the silence of a cold house, Aunt Linda became the only warm place left. One night, she called me into her room. Her voice was calm but steady. "I'm not sick. I never was. I said I had cancer to see who truly cared." I froze. She told me that after years of being alone, she felt lost. She wanted to know if anyone still remembered her, loved her for who she was, not what she had. "I'm not sad that they don't love me," she said. "I'm sad they only care about the name Linda on a legal document." Then she looked at me. You're the reason I still believe family can be real." I hugged her tight. For the first time in my life, I felt what unconditional love truly meant. We decided to turn the tables. Aunt Linda pretended to get weaker. She coughed more, moved slower, and told my parents she was thinking of transferring all her assets to the most responsible person in the house. Suddenly, my parents changed. They were caring, attentive, even hired cleaners, bought vitamins and supplements. But it didn't stop there. My mother started pushing for legal power of attorney. My father called a lawyer he trusted to handle things properly. One day, I overheard them arguing. If we don't get her to sign soon, she might change her mind. She's old. It's just a matter of days anyway. What they didn't know was, Aunt Linda had already contacted her own lawyer. Quietly, she filed for custody of me, citing my parents' emotional neglect and mental abuse. After a tense legal battle, the truth came out. The court granted Aunt Linda full guardianship. My parents, furious and humiliated, had no choice but to sign away custody. We moved to a small town down south. There was soft sunlight, morning birdsong, and the smell of fresh toast every day. Our house had only 2 rooms, but it was more than enough to melt the cold years behind us. Aunt Linda taught me how to cook, how to plant herbs, how to care for myself. And most importantly, how to love who I am. She once said, "Family isn't where you're born, it's where you can be yourself, without fear or judgment." I grew up in peace, and I finally understood, real family isn't blood, it's love. And sometimes love finds you in the most unexpected places. Aunt Linda, the woman who had been abandoned by everyone else, became the mother I always wished for. If you're living in a house that feels full but never feels loving, please don't believe you have to endure it forever. Family doesn't mean shared DNA. It means showing up, listening, holding someone, even when they have nothing to give back. You might be the quiet one in your own home, but don't be afraid. Somewhere out there, there's an Aunt Linda waiting for you. Or maybe you're meant to become someone's Aunt Linda. Because real family is where healing begins.